Hello and welcome to Top Deck, the series where we take a look at some of the leading TCG deck lists, and it has been a while since we've been here because all physical events have been shut down. However, that is not stopping the competitive YuGiOh community from taking online and competing in various different events. Today we have on Ben Gregson with his Zephyr list. And before we bring him on for the interview, I'm just going to quickly run through this list and get as a heads up. He did use this list in multiple online events, taking first place and top cut for those as well. So let's dive right into this Zephyr list. We start off with one Cyberstein, triple Magdalene, and one Petting Cessor. This is a really interesting engine, so let's get his insights on why he's playing that one. Triple Gamma, double Pathfinder to search the field spell, one Zephyr Empilica, one Zephyr Wendy, triple Thuban, one Zephyr Exciton, triple Zephyrath, triple Zephyranui, triple Zefraxi, one Driver, triple Oracle of Zephyr, one Rotor, one Terraforming, one Zephyr Path. This is one we don't often see included in the deck, so we'll definitely ask about that one as well. Triple Providence, fairly staple, one Nine Pillars, one Divine Strike, and triple War. Again, this is one of the cards we don't often see being played within the main deck, at least at 3, so definitely something to ask about there. The extra deck, there's one Exterior to go with the Cyberstein, Chaofeng, Herald of the Arclight, one Metaphysaurus, one Stardust Charge, one Yazi, one Dampier Vampire Sheridan, one Gallant Granite, one Baguska, when we have Borreload, Borosword, IP, Unicorn, Linkuriboh, and finally a Psyframe Lord Lambda. For the side deck, triple Sphere mode, you obviously don't really need your normal summons, so you can get away with siding this in as one of the best outs to establish boards. Triple Cyclone, triple Mystic Mine, triple Evenly, and triple There Can Be Only One. So without further ado, let's bring on Ben and ask him about this list. Okay, so I've gone through the list itself, and I've got to say, it's very different from any Zephyr list I've ever seen before, and I don't know whether that's just because lots of the Zephyr lists I saw before were from like Master Rule 5 era, or whether it was because they just like didn't take the inspiration you have, or maybe because Cyberstein just like was banned until a Master Rule 5 format. But what you've done with this is so sort of radical that I just really wanted to get your opinions on why you included things like why did you include the Cyberstein and go for the Cyberstein combo, why did you include the Magdalene, etc. But let's start off with Cyberstein, because this is like a total powerhouse. This is something that's never really been possible before, because of Master Rule 5 getting in the way. So why did you decide to build a deck that can combo so consistently into this card?
Because it's really funny stacking Cyberstein with Oracle of Zephyr and then drawing it off the Stardust Charge. The original inspiration, I was doing it with Infernity Archfiend with no cards in hand, and you just draw it and special it and search Barrier.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's not bad.
But then Cyberstein came off the list, and I was like, well, I can summon Exterior now, I guess Archfiend isn't it.
Why negate one thing when you can negate everything?
Well, like, the deck's so unreliant on its normal summon. So, like, you have essentially, 4-6 normal summons in the list total?
3 Magdalene, 1 Cyberstein if you want to normal it, and the 2 Pathfinders. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the Magdalene is literally a way to get to Zephyrath, and that is its only purpose.
Okay.
Because you normal Magdalene, search the new Madolche that came out a couple of sets ago, and then you make Gallant Granite, because it searches literally any rock.
Yep, and Zephyrath is a rock.
So you play in total, including the Terraforming and the Pathfinders, you're playing 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 ways to Zephyrath.
Yeah.
Plus the Madolche engine, so it's 15 ways to Zephyrath total.
And even if you don't Zephyrath, you have other options you can go with, right? Because 6 of those ways into Zephyrath are also ways into any other Zephyr card. So.
Yeah, and like the Madolche engine's also a way into Baguska, which I think is an FTK in quite a lot of matchups right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, it's definitely taken a sidestep from like Dweller.
Mm-hmm.
But Usually, like, the end board, if you don't open the complete nuts and end on Exterio plus, like, the counter trap and stuff, you're ending on Baguska with the level 6 in your extra monster zone.
Okay.
And then a set 9 pillars, which will then search Zephyr Wall, which is another form of interruption. So you get a negate plus a Regeki break and a Baguska, so the lockdown monster effects that aren't linked monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Very nice, actually, at the moment. Especially with Shadol being a real deck. Because for once
this deck actually just...
Yeah, for once we have a format where non-link monsters are relevant.
This deck actually poops on Shadol. It's using this matchup, I thought.
Yeah,
like, you don't care about window because you just pendulum summon your 2600 wall.
Yeah.
And you just sit there. And then they don't kill the 2600 wall, and if they do kill the 2600 wall, you just pop the thing that is threatening your 2600 wall, and then you summon it back again.
Yeah, exactly. That's really nice. Let's dive into the Zefra lineup itself then, since we covered the starter cards. So I'll be honest, I have no idea what's been typical for a long time. The last time I actually played Zefra was before Zefra was even released. But I can absolutely see why you'd play that as a 3-of and Zefranui as a 3-of. But Zefraxi as a 3-of and Zefrathubin, are they both so impactful that you want to play 3 of each of those now?
They're 1 scales.
Oh, okay, so it's just about managing out your scales then.
And Fraxi is the way you do the Cyberstein combo.
Because it gives you the tuner so that you can make the Stardust Charge Warrior, right?
Yeah, it makes either... So you would pendulum summon the Fraxi and either Pilica or Wendy. Mm-hmm. And then you use Fraxi to make the opposite one a tuner, so then you can make Stardust Charge Warrior that way. Okay.
And so this is why you are running the Pilica and the Wendy as well then, because they're the level 3 options. And...
Yeah, the upside to Pilica though is the fact that, you know how I told you about making Baguska turn 1?
Yeah.
Occasionally you make it with a Zephyr scale, so when you link off the Baguska, you can actually reborn the Zephyr monster that goes to the graveyard, like its effect isn't completely dead.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty nice. What about the effect of the Wendy though? Does that ever come up, or is it just there because it's a high scale and also the level 3?
You occasionally add back stuff. I think it's came up like 3 or 4 times where you just add back the 6.
Okay.
And summon 2 6s at the same time.
Yeah.
To make the vampire monster in the extra deck, which I will go into. That card's broken.
Yeah, that one's been really nice and often overlooked as well. Cool.
Well,
okay.
There's a certain little thing in the extra deck that makes that card really, like, really good. But yeah.
We'll get onto that shortly. Definitely. Okay. Any other thoughts on the Zephyr lineup? Any changes you'd make to it, or do you think it's pretty solid?
It's exactly how I like it to be. There's like an argument to play a second Zefraxis, but that's only if back row decks get more popular. But right now, just the one Zefraxis on to send off of Zefra is needed. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all tutorable.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's just kind of a big toolbox of effects.
Yeah. Yeah, I realised there's not masses of back row removal, but then given that you're setting up like crazy negates against spell traps anyway, it's probably not something you have to worry about massively at the moment, right? Not at least until we get Paleo and Eldritch being potential, highly played decks.
The ultimate, I'm going to let you in on secret, the Eldritch matchup it's almost as free as
Really?
So the Eldritch deck, like, the issue is they only have one real form of actual negation. And their other piece of interaction is the Conquistador, I think his name is, the card that pops a card.
Yeah. And
But you can just war it. You can just war it on activation. So that never triggers.
It never summons, okay. Yeah.
Providence never pop. They never are able to pop your cards because Providence protects everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can Gamma the Eldritch because you can end on Lambda super easily. So when you play in the matchup, instead of doing the Cyberstein combo to search Cyberstein, you do it to search Gamma and make Lambda.
Okay.
So you beat the Eldritch Pop effect, and then you just Divine Strike whatever it tries to do in the graveyard, and
That's pretty nice.
so
Yeah, as soon as you stop that Eldritch from resolving, you basically win that matchup. Sounds cool. Okay. Rest of the cards, you've got your additional, just typical Zephyr engine of the Oracles and the Providence. But I think Path is probably seen a little bit less. Why did you decide to play this one?
Because Salamangreat is the worst matchup. So the idea is with Path on the field, they can't summon Foxy, Spinny, or Jaguar under it, and you can protect it with Providence, so it never actually dies. So they play this long resource game where they're recycling the same Gazelle, and all you're doing is just removing that Gazelle and their Sunlight Wolf from the field every single turn under Path.
Yeah.
And like, you can end on a board of like Path, Baguska, Counter Trap, which is pretty much game, versus Salad and like Orcust, which still pops up. Like, it has applications. It's not the number one thing you will set. As I've come to realize, it's probably the least impactful card in the whole deck, but I think when it does have an impact, it has such a high impact, it's just not worth it.
Okay. So you wouldn't consider siding it, for example? You think it's worth keeping it in the main because it's so good in those scenarios?
Yeah, I mean, like, in the scenarios, it's good in the scenarios where you already hard draw a trap. Or if you draw, like, Providence, and then you have your search off of Zafranu as well, so you can Zafranu for it.
Yeah.
Just always having it in the deck, I think, is worthwhile, because even, like, after turn one, and you've done everything, and if your opponent's being really stubborn, they're like, oh, I can break your board. You stop them, and then you path them on the follow-up.
Yeah.
And then they really can't do anything.
Yeah. And then because you're playing Zefra, you have great opportunity to establish some strong monsters or some follow-up that just breaks apart whatever they've done.
I mean, usually you just end on a 2600 wall, but yeah, the same thing.
Well, I mean, if you end on the 2600 wall, you end up with a search, right? So, I mean, that will break anything that they do in the following turn.
Yeah, I mean, New just searches Providence, and then Providence searches War, and then you just loop the same thing over again.
Yeah. This is pretty good.
And then sometimes you get to sort of a weird end game where you have to use Zefrath's second effect to actually summon itself, which has been done a lot more than it should.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Having a second pendulum summon is ridiculous, and whenever it does happen, you do win the game on the spot.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's
so
really nice. Cool. And then what else is left? So you got the 2 negates, 9 pillars, and Divine Strike, and then the triple war. I have not seen very many lists playing triple war before, but it sounds like based on everything that you've said so far, it's basically a must-have because it's so impactful at the moment.
I mean, you should go in second card as well. Like, you set up use wars.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, it's like, it's imperm. The way I'm looking at it is, it's the same way I look at imperm, and the fact that it's insane going first, but going second it is just spot removal.
Nothing wrong with a bit of that.
So you can just kill things. Also, it pops the field spell for its effect. You don't have to pop a scale.
Yeah.
So when you do things going first, you quite often end with the field spell on board. And if you don't manage to get to Providence, instead of popping your scales, you can just kill the field spell instead.
That's not bad.
So you never actually have to remove your scales at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. Any changes that you would make to the main deck, or are you pretty happy with it?
No, I'm reasonably happy. Like, it's nothing. Like, there's part of me that wants to include Jet Synchron and Needle Fiber. I played that for quite a long time. But there's a couple of things in the extra that I included, and now I don't have enough room for Needle Fiber and Jet Synchron. So
Fair enough.
it's very much just the case.
Huh? Hello? Have we lost signal? We've lost something.
I'm back.
Oh, okay.
It's alright.
No worries.
We're all good. We're all good.
Okay. Let's go on to the extra deck then. So obviously exterior is for the Cyberstone combo. Chao Feng is Floodgate Big Boy. Arclight. How do you make the Arclight with this deck?
So the original reason for Arclight is because I'm playing Metaphys So
Okay.
if you Metaphys something, because we're in what I like to call Dueling Book hyperspace, where you play against just players on Dueling Book, the ladder is infested with Paleo and Mono.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of swap frogs you can steal and synchro with your Gamma into Herald.
Okay.
And originally, obviously, I was playing Jet Synchron, and it just never left the extra deck because it actually came up a couple of times in testing versus Paleo.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
like, by all means, cut it for Dweller.
Mhm.
But I just like it being there.
But that means having to play at a real event, which isn't going to happen at the moment.
Yeah. Well, like, at a real event, you cut the Herald, and you cut Herald, and you find room for Needle Fiber.
Yeah.
And the Jet Synchron stuff, and you do Boral Sword stuff. But right now, because we're not in such a competitive game, because outside of like what the LCS, there's not really been any really competitive events going on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's just nice to play casual Yu-Gi-Oh! And be able to run bad things like Herald of Arclight in your extra deck and still be able to...
He says bad. I mean, it's still a pretty good card.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
Okay. Status Charge is for the combo. Yazi.
Mm-hmm.
How do you summon the Yazi? Is this just a Zefranui and a level 4?
Yeah, it's Zephyr in a level 4. It's an out to...
Sorry, Zefraxian a
the
level 4.
good
That's
old... Yeah, it's just an out to annoying Floodgates, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like, it's there to out skill drain because of E-Lich, and it's there to out just some other silly stuff.
Okay.
It was originally Black Rose to play around there can only be one, but, you know, I just prefer Yazi because it summons a worm, and if you notice, there are a lot of worms in this deck.
There are so many worms.
Like, it's so viable. Like, the amount of times I've gone Yazi effect, pop itself, and then summon Zephyr from the deck, and then pop it with War to get a search. Like, you wouldn't believe how much it actually comes up, but when it does, you literally...
Oh, that's really cool. A deck that
And no, I
viably
did not
plays
put
Yazi.
Yazi in the deck. I did not put Yazi in the deck just because I was coming on call with you. It was genuinely in the deck before.
I mean, that would have been a very good reason for it anyway.
Just put Mare in as
From
well.
now on, all deck profiles on the channel must have Yazi.
I'm just gonna start siding Yazi just to every event. just leave it there. It's out there playing True Drake with a Yazi in the sideboard. Don't think that's legal if you don't have an extra deck, but we'll ignore.
Wow. Okay. So we're on to the Dampier Vampire Sheridan, which you're telling us is broken.
Right, so if you read Metaphys, it says take a monster your opponent controls if you use it for a pendulum.
Okay.
If you use a pendulum to make it.
Yeah.
Dampier says if you steal a monster your opponent controls, treat it as a level 6. Horus is level 6. And Dampier says detach a material, target a monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard, and then detach another material and reborn it.
Okay. So your one level 6 synchro becomes a Dampier plus a reborn monster plus a removal.
Yep.
Plus double removal. Wow. That's pretty cool.
There's no more explaining.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
You can make it with 2 6s anyway. You
Yeah.
can make it with 2 6s anyway, but like the fact that this card literally says steal something, then link it off into Masquerena or Lambda or a Boral sorted people with their own board, like the fact that you can send Dingirsu from an Orcus player's board and then bring it back and send something with it, kind of.
Yeah. That's pretty mad. Are you seeing a lot of... I was going to ask, are you seeing a lot of Orcust in the online play space as well?
Yeah, the rank ladders. So rank ladder consists of Orcus, Salamangrate, the Despot Karakuri deck, and then lots and lots of Mermail and Paleo, and like Geist to an extent. I've played 2 Zefra mirrors on ladder as well.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was playing against Trif on stream, I sent him my deck list to cover in a video, and then 2 people net decked my list, and
So-
one of them is the guy that's currently 11th place on Dueling Book is playing my Zephyr list exactly card by card.
Wow. What, this one or the previous one?
This exact list.
Wow. Well, good
We've
to
been
know.
talking back and forth about it.
That's pretty nice.
We genuinely think this is a viable deck moving forward into the next format. I don't think it's like the biggest sleeper deck. I don't think a single is actually prepared for it, especially the little Madolce engine and like.
Yeah, I really like that
this
creative
deck-
spin.
This deck's just made me fall in love with YuGiOh, for real. I mean,
That's what you need.
I was playing Draco before this.
Yeah. You played Draco for ages before this.
About 8 months.
Oh, that's a long time to me. I
Mhm.
don't play
About
that
8
for real.
months of consistently bubbled 4 regionals in a row, playing Draco, losing in the last round, and Pot of Desires has banished many a Draco monster, and we won't go into that.
It just means that when a competitive season comes back, you have to take this and take home your top.
No, 100. Like if UK Nationals is on, I'm 100% playing this deck, no doubt.
That'd be so cool. Alright, okay, let's finish off this extra deck and we can go on to the side deck then. So, Granite and Baguska are both explained and understandable. Borreload and Boral Swords are your like removal and OTK, so that's fine. IP is obviously Disruption. Unicorn goes with the extra removal in the IP. Linkaribo, what's the Linkaribo for?
When you steal things with Boris, you can steal melee, so you can link it off the link rebate, link material.
Okay.
It's also remnants of the Jet Synchron engine that just heads in and out of the deck.
Fair enough.
So,
And then Lambda is
It has
obviously
utility.
for nice situations where you get to add your gamma and stuff. So that's cool.
yeah.
Side deck then. So obviously being a pendulum deck, there's not masses of normal summons that you have to commit to, hence the sphere mode. So let me just briefly think, what are the good go second into board side deck cards? Because you've got the sphere modes and you've got the Mystic Minds and the Evenlies. So I guess the alternatives would be like Super Poly, which is probably very hard to play in this deck because the extra deck seems pretty tight. And Lava Golem, which still doesn't seem as good as Sphere mode.
The other card's Lightning Storm, but
Yes.
I don't like drawing Lightning Storm late game because you have so many face-up cards, like a face-up field spell and
Yeah.
face-up scales. So that's the reason behind not playing Lightning Storm.
It also Lightning Storm just at the moment kind of seems like a worse evenly matched in some scenarios, because like with this deck you're not trying to OTK so much, I think, right? Is that fair enough?
Yeah. You literally just, like I said before, you sit behind a 2600 wall for 8 turns and they just kind of scoot.
Yeah.
Like Lightning. My issue with Lightning Storm, and this is going to sound really petty, I played Lightning Storm for 3 games straight in ranked yesterday, and I hit Waking the Dragon 3 straight matches in a row. So I played in a tournament, played against Eldritch round 1, and I Lightning Stormed him game 2, and I pop a Waking the Dragon, and then he just summons Exterior, and I just can't clear it, so lost a game to just playing Lightning Storm in my deck.
Yeah.
Second round, Lightning Stormed an Altergeist player, and he trap tricks a Waking the Dragon into his back row.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So we lost that one, and then the same thing happened round 3 with trap. I Lightning Storm his back row, and he just sets Waking the Dragon.
That's so rough.
So we're no longer playing Lightning Storm in the deck. We just decided to play evenly instead.
Wow. Next level plays. Don't lose to your expensive card that's expensive despite no actual events being on. What is the current price of Lightning Storm? I now have to double check. Because I bet it's still absurd.
I think it's 65, I think, last time. Like on Facebook trade group, they're going for 65.
If you go eBay lowest, it's looking like about 89. So yeah, I reckon like 65, 70 on a trading group.
Underselling.
Well, trade groups should always undersell relative to eBay, but I mean, yeah, that's quite the disparity.
About it.
Yeah, so many good reasons to not play Lightning Storm, I guess, then. And the rest of the side deck is the triple Cosmic and triple There Can Be Only One. So, Cosmic, why did you choose this over something like Twin Twisters?
Because you're a pendulum deck and hand.
Yep, fair enough. And Cosmic is better than MST?
Behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, Cosmic's, you need a way to be anti-spell for if you are a pendulum deck.
Yes.
You can beat it with War by normal summoning a monster and then warring it away on the follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're doing what Salamangreat do and just hoping they draw Rage eventually. And you're doing the same with War, even though yours is searchable.
Yeah.
And also, Cosmic's great against Eldritch as well. So that's the reason that's there.
Yeah, that's pretty nice too. And There Can Be Only One?
Salamangreat. You can play under it, they can't.
Yeah, true. What are the different types you've got? So you've got Worm, Fiend, Warrior, yeah, loads, Psychic, all sorts.
Spellcaster, Machine, Rock.
Yeah, you're never gonna. I mean, do you ever? Okay? Yeah, you said you do some of the Zefra.
Yeah, Zephyr does get summoned, and everything in the deck will get summoned at some point. There's not a single card in this deck that has not been summoned at least once.
Yeah. That's pretty nice. So you've got some combos as well that you suggested you might be able to take us through. Are we able to do that online? Have you got them saved down somewhere?
No, but I can. If we hop into a game, I can grab the hands out of the deck and just show you what it does.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
So this is the full count. This is the Stein plus negate board.
Okay. Take it away. Show us how it's done.
Great. So essentially, all you need is Zefra, any one scale, and a way to Zefraxy. So we'll search a one scale with this. So we'll search Thuban. Then we'll activate the Providence. The Providence will search any Zefra that is level 3. So we'll grab Pelica because she's the worst one. Activate the Wrath. So Wrath changes its scale depending on what you send. So we'll send a scale 7, so it becomes a scale 7. Activate the scale 1, and then we'll pendulum summon 3. Shame I've got this Planet Pathfinder just sat in, but the sacrifices a start card. So here you want to chain block the Zephyr to actually search. So you'll make Fraxi Chainlink 2 targeting Pelica, and then Nui will search as Chainlink 1. So you'll grab yourself the 9
already. Yeah. Already I'm seeing the ability to go into a Stardust Charge if you want it.
Yeah, sorry. So when you activate the Providence, you're supposed to search the field spell. We'll completely ignore that. So the Providence that originally searched the Pelica, searched the field spell first. Slight blunder. So now you Synchro Summon, because we have the ability to do that under the new Master Rule. So we'll make Charge Warrior. Charge Warrior will be Chainlink 2. Oracle will be Chainlink 2, and Charge Warrior will be Chainlink 1. So essentially we get to pick any monster on our deck and draw it. Yep. So we stack it with the effect of Oracle.
Here comes the Stein.
And then we'll normal the Cyber Stein.
Nice.
Make ourselves an exterior. And then we have 9 pillars plus... So 9 pillars will pop this in our opponent's turn, which will search as a copy of Zephyr War. So now we have essentially exterior plus a negate plus a pop. Alternatively, you can search Divine Strike off of the 9 pillars, and then you can make IP Masquerena with the Cyberstein and the Zephyr.
Okay.
But that's the basic. It's technically a 4-card combo when you think about it, but every card gets you to every card in this deck. So drawing that as a combo is not the hardest thing under the sun to do.
Yeah. And how does it vary then? So if you don't have your normal summon, you obviously can't go for a Stein play. Is that when you would go for the Lambda and Gamma?
No, you wouldn't even make Stardust Charge Warrior in that scenario.
Okay.
So what I'll do...
Why don't you take us through a hand where you have to play one of your normal summons and just show us what it'll be like.
Yeah, well, we'll restart the... So, if you open... Don't worry about siding, I don't really want to be sided against random Mystic Mine here, beginning.
Siding your Mystic Mines against you.
Surprisingly not that good. So this hand contains...
Probably not.
So this hand contains Magdalene, which means we have access to Zephyr whenever my game wants to load. So...
I've only just got the hands. You got the Magdalene. Okay.
I have the Magdalene and Stein that I've just hard drawn, but we'll ignore the fact that we drew Stein. So you get to do the cool Magdalene thing where you search Petting Zephyr, and then she special summons herself because you have no monsters in your graveyard.
Okay.
Because we don't have access to Zephyr, what we're going to do is we're going to summon this and search.
Hey.
Because it's
starter cards.
Then we'll scale this, and we'll scale this. We'll use the Zephyr. We've already drawn Zephyr Nui, so we're just going to send any level 7 monster, or any scale 7. And then we'll Pendulum summon this out the hand, and this out the extra deck. Nui always triggers. So for this example, you actually want to search Providence first.
Okay.
And then we Providence, and we search Divine Strike.
Yep.
And then we'll link away these two into our either Masquerena or I drew Gamma in this case. So
okay. So you just go straight for the Lambda, yeah. So
you still end on a minimum of 2 pieces of interaction plus completely safe scales, so they won't be destroyed on the follow-up, and then you're able to Pendulum summon the level 6, search again, and continue to loop.
Okay, so that is really the game plan then, just sort of like little bit of stun from different interaction on your first turn, and then keep looping that Zephyr, right?
Yeah, just think of it as Pendulum Salad.
that's exactly what I was thinking earlier when you said you get to keep looping your 26 body. It's salad, except instead of putting an 1800 attack on board, you put a 2600 defense on board.
Yeah, that actually searches cards.
Yeah, that doesn't just add back. Very, very nice. Cool. Well, thanks for taking us through the deck and showing us these combos, and congratulations on your victory over Trif Gaming. Which you guys should definitely check out. I'll try and put some links to everything either in the description or in the comments, so that you can check out the full Dillema channel and get your experience of some Zephyr taking on some Pendulum and smashing it to pieces. Any shoutouts you want to make, Ben?
Just a quick shout out to the Hobby Bowl, as usual, my usual locals in Western Supermare, great bunch of guys. And also shout out to you for making great content, Reddit, honestly.
No worries. Thanks very much for coming on and sharing your list. Thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.